Hi, my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to be talking to you about having an identity crisis because when I was having an identity crisis in 8th grade, I looked on YouTube for a video like this and I could not find one. So I'm going to try to help by sharing what I know now. I'm constantly in a state of identity crisis, but it's not as anxiety-inducing as it was back then because I'm more sure in some things. But I'm still not sure in other things, and I don't think I ever will be, but with certain things I'm content, and that's the important thing, and I'm learning. That's another important thing. So here we go. A little history of me. In 8th grade, I had an identity crisis. How I would describe it is I liked a lot of different things, and I had trouble putting a label on it and explaining and understanding myself what that meant. I was just very overwhelmed, and I had a lot of questions about life, but now I don't really think about it, and I think that's the goal, if there is one. Now I'm going to talk about the different types of feelings that come with an identity crisis, and maybe how to solve them, maybe not. But if you're having an identity crisis, just know that, like, hey, you're not alone. I was there once and still, and it's a journey, it's life, and you don't have to stress about it so much. I'll talk about these in depth after I name all of them. Number 1, anxiety of like, what do I like? Who am I? What do I want to be? Anxiety in yourself of what you alone like. Number 2, self-esteem. That's a part of your identity. Number 3 is what people see you as and what you're viewed as through other people, because that can create uncertainty because people might say this thing about you, but then you might also hear the complete opposite from other people, and you're like, well, who am I? The last one kind of ties into the prior one of knowing what you want to be like, but not being able to portray that to others. Now, I'm going to talk about how to overcome this and what do you do with all these feelings, you know? Coping mechanisms are kind of my thing. It's basically how I live my entire life. One thing that you can do is to write about it. This handy dandy journal, I enjoy self-reflection. So get yourself a nice journal, get yourself some nice pens, and write. By journaling, I think I learned a lot about myself and the world, but I just found that this was like the main thing that made me feel a lot better because I could distinguish what I was feeling, because in my mind there's just a constant noise of thoughts, and this helps me kind of sort some of those out and understand what they mean. And you can read back and you could be like, wow, I learned this. So journaling's great. Another thing that you can do is to find a passion. If you know what you're passionate about, and it's not that hard to find, like stuff that makes you happy is, all right, that's it. Do that. Once you know what makes you happy, you could even make a list. That's another thing that I've done in my journals. Make lists. Make a bunch of lists. Another thing that's just important to have in your life is good friends, because what I didn't know in 8th grade is if you have people in your life that are criticizing you, then that'll just make you feel a lot worse, and what you need is support. If you can't get anybody in your life, at least get rid of the bad ones. Next is to get uncomfortable. The way that I think I most learned as a person is to be in situations that either scare you or just make you really uncomfortable, because it's not a good feeling to be uncomfortable. What my mind does is when I'm uncomfortable, it basically goes into like beast mode. And it tries to figure out, how can I make this better? Like, how can I not feel like this anymore? Like, I don't like this. So get uncomfortable, do things that you're like, wow, that's scary. Do those things and you'll come out different, and it'll probably be better. I think going along with the self-esteem part that I mentioned earlier is to become empowered in yourself. So once you have a self-esteem, you can do this in a lot of different ways. There's books, there's a bunch of books. YouTube videos are great for all of this, I think. If you're just really overwhelmed and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, YouTube videos can sometimes help you just feel better about all that stuff, and you can learn things and be like, oh, I feel better now. I hope this helped you a little bit, and if you're going through an identity crisis, the most important thing is time. because with time you'll gain more knowledge and you'll understand a lot more about yourself and life. And if you don't remember anything else, remember things always get better with time. Have a good day. Bye.